Let's go to NewsNation political contributor A. Scott Bolden now, former D.C. Democratic Party chairman. He's also an attorney to talk more about this case. Good morning to you. What do you make of the defense's request here for a full acquittal at this point in the trial? I mean, is there even a possibility that door is open?
Well, at the end of the prosecution's case, it's fundamental that the defense asked for a motion for acquittal, arguing that the government has improved their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and there is no mechanism or no pathway towards a conviction at this point. Judge may or may not grant it. I'm talking about just generally. I think the prosecution has met the elements of the crime, and that the jury, as the fact finder, is going to get the case and make that ultimate determination. Judge's not going to take the case from the jury, as we say.
It is sounding like Hunter Biden will not take the stand again, not official word, but we're reading between the lines here. Is that a smart move by the defense, and how do you think they came to that?
Well, based on public information and based on what I know of Abbe Lowell, he's a really smart, excellent defense lawyer. Let me just say this, that their only reason for consideration to put a defendant on is either you believe that the government's proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt or could have, or secondly, can Hunter Biden, as the defendant, who doesn't have to testify, he doesn't have to prove anything, can he help your case? It gets tricky because we've conceded, or the defense has conceded, he's been an addict off and on. And so what the government has tried to do is put him as close to that October 2018 date as possible vis-a-vis his drug use. But again, that being said, that in and of itself doesn't mean that he believed he was a drug addict or that he was using drugs on the date he purchased that gun. And that's key, because if he didn't believe that, or that even if he was wrong about it, you know, Abbe Lowell is going to argue to the jury many things, but one thing he's going to argue is that if Hunter Biden did that, I'm going to own he did it, that he didn't believe he was a drug addict, regardless of the evidence to the contrary.
And that really, Scott, plays to the sympathies of the jury, right? We know several jury members have family members who have struggled with addiction.
Yes.
So talking about his mindset really may be a smart legal strategy.
Yeah, you know, this is a tough issue. I used to represent Marion Barry, and Marion Barry would always say in his community meetings when he was when he ran for office the last time after getting out of jail, he says, "We've all experienced addiction. Mine is just playing out in public." This is a tough, painful issue. He would say, "Does anybody want to change places with me? Because I'd love to go through this privately." Same issue with Hunter Biden. I've got a brother that's had addiction issues. All of us are family members, right? It's very sympathetic. We don't think of it as a crime. We think of it as a health issue. That's the danger the prosecution is running into. They're doing it in Delaware. Everyone knows the Biden's in Delaware. It'll be interesting to see whether you get one or two people to hold out simply because they don't think it's a crime or jury nullification, or to get them all to agree. And then Abbe Lowell's got to appeal it because there's some constitutional issues as to whether these provisions in the gun application are even constitutionally good or constitutionally vague. And so this case is going to be about the appeal. It's not going to be over no matter what the verdict is.
Yeah, no, we'll wait for the appeal, certainly. If a guilty verdict, though, 25 years is what he could face in terms of prison time. But as a first-time offender, how likely would that be?
He's not getting 25 years for this. It's a victimless crime. He suffered through addiction already. I mean, I don't see the judge sentencing him to any time. He's probably probation eligible. And if that's the case, then prosecution's done their job. And now the sentencing will be up to the judge. I see either probation or community service or something, but certainly not incarceration. We'll have to see. I'm not the greatest prognosticator because I'm pro-defense, but that's what I think.
Well, we think you prognosticate pretty well, and it's why we have you back all the time. A. Scott Bolden, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.